So if you are out there in virtual land, welcome. And please let me know that you can see and hear me. And that'll be that. So my topic today is the power of now versus the divine schedule. And I've been working with some people the past couple of weeks that brought this to my attention. And I realized that all of us, in practicing this teaching of spiritual truth, still have to live our lives. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down. When Reverend Rich sang that song, God is right here where I am right now, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent now. It's very, very important in this teaching to contemplate and embody more and more the spiritual truth of the infinite, eternal now. Now is not measurable, but in creating this earthly form, the universe and everything in it, time got created so that the infinite now can be interpreted by us as past, present, and future. But we want to understand that when I say now, I mean that moment of being fully alive and connecting with the spiritual self, the truth of our being. Now I am beautiful. I am loving. I am joy. I am abundant now. And then we have to live our experience of knowing that eternal truth expressing in space and time, in form, in the relative world. So in the absolute, I am the all good now. And I am expressing it in this relative world moment to moment. It unfolds. So being human beings, being spiritual beings in human form and human expression, we have that simultaneous experience of knowing the now, I am now, it is done unto me now, and then walking it through. And sometimes, right, it seems as if your now requires some time to process before your demonstration shows up. If you want a baby, they say around 9 months, you've got the baby, but it's unfolding in you. And it's certainly possible to have such a consciousness of knowing the now that what you know instantaneously manifests. However, in this relative world, think about it. If all of us were able to do that, we would have change happening on us all continuously all around. It would, everything would be, besides the fact that it's all moving, we would have that experience of things moving continuously. And that would not necessarily we'd have to learn a lot to be able to deal with that. So, here's the thing. This is the spiritual truth. Whatever beliefs, whatever consciousness we have in this present moment is manifesting now. Or let me put it this way. Whatever our consciousness is now, whatever our beliefs are now, is being created in our present moment. So now I am abundant. Now I am rich. Now I am life eternal. Now I am joy. I am love now. And in this present moment, I experience my beliefs of love and of joy as the conditions in my world. The conditions in our world are always created out of our beliefs about the eternal now. So the eternal now is our divine self. It's who we are in spiritual truth, changeless, continuous, and creating. And what gets created is our beliefs about our eternality and our infinitude and our joy and our love. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. So now when we do spiritual mind treatment, right? The real purpose of spiritual mind treatment is a spiritual tool to change what we are believing, to change our consciousness. It's not to create something. It's to change our consciousness, because we know that the law creates our world based upon our consciousness. So spiritual mind treatment is to change our belief, and when the belief is changed, the conditions that are created will be different, because it's different beliefs that the law is using to create something. And Dr. Ernest Holmes said that, sure, we could instantaneously know the truth and instantaneously everything in our entire lives can be transformed. But for those of us who aren't there yet, this wonderful technique has been created to help us in changing our consciousness and in living our lives while our consciousness is getting changed. And that's the purpose of spiritual mind treatment. It is possible to give a spiritual mind treatment with such a high consciousness that it immediately manifests. Has anyone ever had that happen? Yes? Okay. Every one of you should be raising your hands, or you haven't been paying attention. Okay. Or you just gotta, strive for it. But it's definitely possible. You do the treatment, the phone rings. You do the treatment, and you bump into the person who is whatever. So it is valuable to include in your spiritual mind treatment a concept of now. I now am wealthy. I am now surrounded by wonderful friends. I am now expressing myself in a unique and wonderful way. And we let the spiritual mind treatment direct the law to change our beliefs, and then we demonstrate the activity of our changing beliefs. Now, here's the thing. I knew a young man back at my original Center for Spiritual Living, at that time called
Religious Science.
the New York's the Religious Science Church of First Church of Religious Science, New York City. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Times have changed, right? What was that, 50 years ago, 40 years ago? I don't know. Okay, so I met a young man who, he was new. He was new to this teaching, but he got spiritual mind treatment, and he told me, I understand the power of now. And he would do a treatment. Now I'm blah, 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 blah. Now I'm blah, 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 blah. And he would be treating for conditions. So he would, with mental force, mental effort, claim his good now. And I happened to be with him when he did his spiritual mind treatment. He decided, hello, Laura, out there in Italy. He decided that he wanted to be writing a movie script that would be shot in Italy. I mean, that's pretty elaborate, right? So he did a treatment. Now, I am now this author of the script being shot, film being shot in Italy, and so it is now. And he let it go. And that Sunday at our Sunday service, a woman sat next to him and was looking at him and introduced herself afterwards and said to him, for some reason, I'm a director and I want to do a film shot in Italy, and I think you are a film writer. And he said, yes, I am. And she's like, well, great. And she took him out to lunch and they're talking about blah, 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 blah. And she said at the end, so just send me some of your work. Well, he had never written anything. And I happened to be dating him at the time. And I'm like, whoa, I'll help you. I'll write it for you. You know, I'm like, certainly I needed some growth. But anyway, and he wouldn't take me up on my offer. And, he said to me about a month later that this woman is acting weird around him and trying to avoid him. And I'm like, well, of course. She told you to send her your writing and you didn't do it. And now she doesn't know what to think about you. And she's pretty much decided, you're all yappity, yappity, yappity. I mean, I didn't say all that because I thought I loved him. But the thing is that it went away. So even though he was able to claim, now I am this film writer with a film and produced in Italy, whatever. I mean, and that was just one of the many, 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 many things that he demonstrated. Immediately, he didn't have the consciousness to fully experience it. If you are claiming that you are a writer and your work is now sold, you have to write something. That's the way it is. So even though you can really focus on the now, and immediately demonstrate, what we want to understand, and my teacher, Dr. Stuart Grayson, used to say, is that you want to demonstrate when you fully have the consciousness to enjoy the demonstration. And he would say, you want to pluck the peach when it's at the perfect moment of ripeness. Too early, it's a little hard, a little tough, right? Too late, and it's, mush. But at that perfect moment, when as you eat it, you enjoy every bite. What we're talking about here is having the consciousness of the new good that you desire to have created in your life. And accepting that if you had the consciousness in this present moment, you would have the condition. And you would not need to do spiritual mind treatment. I had the passing thought, I'd like to sing opera again. And, within a couple days, I got an email. Anybody who wants to sing in this opera, blah, 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 let me know. Send your resume. And I immediately sent my resume and boom, I'm in. No audition, I've never auditioned. But I do have the consciousness because I built it years ago. And I didn't have the consciousness, but I developed it, I built it. And so I can enjoy this experience completely. But when I first was growing that consciousness of singing opera, I was offered a job singing chorus in a particular opera. And as I told the person who hired me, I hate opera. I don't know Italian, but if you want me to sing it, okay. And I got hired. I had to work so hard to learn the part and to have it memorized. I didn't know any Italian, so I was memorizing syllables, not knowing how they were connected in a word and certainly not knowing what the word meant, and having to do a whole lot of work pronouncing the vowels correctly because I didn't know Italian. I worked so hard, but I was in this teaching and I said, look, the divine has brought this to me and it is bringing to me everything necessary for me to successfully grow into this consciousness. And so for that first opera, I knew enough and learned enough to do a credible job in that particular experience so that I got another one and another one. And each job that was offered me, I had to learn more until finally, after 10 years, I'm good. Or, yeah, I'm good. I know how to do it. And since I used to sing opera, I've learned Italian. So now I'm like, whoa, I know what a difference knowing Italian makes. in singing these things. So when we don't have the consciousness yet of a particular good that we desire to experience more of, we do our spiritual mind treatment to change our consciousness so that we embody it, fully embody it. And when we fully embody all the beliefs that are a part of that new situation we want to be in, boom, it will manifest instantly. We don't have to practice patience. But that's what we do, right? Oh, let me, treat that I'm patient for my good. No, we are treating in the now. Now, in the eternal infinite now, I have the baby. And everything necessary for my successful parenthood, everything necessary for my successful singing career or my successful job at McGraw-Hill, whatever it is, everything necessary, I am being guided to learn and to understand it. And I am, it's on its way and I'm on the way. It's the experience of planting the seed, right? This spring, we're here, we're planting seeds. And then you nurture it and you water it and you take out the weeds. We pull out the self-doubt. We treat for the answer, for the guidance, for the doubts to be erased. We keep treating in the now. I am now a success in whatever it is. And we are fully engaged in learning what we need to learn to be a success as our greater good condition unfolds. Does that make sense? So you don't need patience because you're busy thinking. What am I thinking? What is in the way? What am I afraid of? What do I need to learn? As I grew in a consciousness of abundance and success, whatever, I had to realize some things about myself that weren't pretty to realize. And I had to face a lot of stuff. There was a time when I was walking along Fifth Avenue with my mother, and at the time, these very upscale stores, were all along Fifth Avenue. Maybe they still are. I haven't been there for a while. But they had their doors locked. You had to ring, and then they would look at you in order to enter. And at that time, and I was in this teaching early on, but I was so intimidated that I wouldn't ring the bell. Because I thought, oh, what if they don't let me in? But also I thought, I can't afford anything in there. I don't belong there. I can't even look around in there. They don't want somebody to just look around. But my mother, she just rang the bell. And so I remember we went into this purse store, some high-level purse store, and being in this teaching, it's like, this is the consciousness I want, to be comfortable here. And so let's buy something to symbolize that which I desire. So I bought the smallest little wallet that they possibly had and loved it until it just completely fell apart years later. But the thing is that it showed me what my current consciousness was at. So that even though I was claiming I'm rich, I'm good, I'm equal to anyone, I'm worthy, I'm successful, the beliefs did not match it. And yet, if I kept doing that spiritual work, it would be there. It would be there. And now, well, let's see. Now, yeah, I probably could go in anywhere. A part of me say, well, if they don't like it, they'll throw me out. And I don't care. I mean, that's a switch of consciousness, right? There was a couple, 2 ministers back at my church who gave a workshop on love and relationships. And each of them told the story of how they came together. And the woman, said that, she realized that she wanted a wonderful relationship with a wonderful man, and she was treating. And Like 6 months later, they met, someone arranged a meeting for them or whatever, and off they went. His side of the story was, one Saturday night I was at the office after work, and I decided I wanted to be married to a wonderful woman. And he did one treatment. And when he said this, his wife went, she treated and treated and treated and treated. And he did one treatment. It's in the law. He didn't think about it again. 6 months later, they met. Now, the divine schedule. It's clear, I think, that the woman's journey was needing 6 months worth of spiritual mind treatment and growth, and that this was operating in her. We can't for sure know what was going on with the man. However, he had the faith that one treatment was enough. And then 6 months later, he met the right woman. Now, he may have been growing in those 6 months, we don't know. But when we're talking about the divine schedule now, right, the power now versus the divine schedule, let's say he had the consciousness when he did that treatment to manifest instantly that perfect woman for him. But she didn't. The divine schedule got her ready. And he quite peacefully and without a second thought went about his business and met her at the perfect time, when she was ready, even though he had been ready for 6 months. So the other interesting thing about our human experience is I think it's 10% out of your 100% of treatments at the most. You do the treatment, you really feel that's it. It's now. No more treatment is needed. Well, then where is it? It may be now that what we have is this beautiful circulation of life, the omnipresence of God at work all over the relative world, all throughout people, synchronously bringing together the right people at the right time for the highest and the greatest good of all. And so you may be the one who is fully ready for your perfect partner, for your perfect job, for your perfect experience, da-da-da-da. But the rest of the world needs to move around to be ready for you. And so sometimes, not very often, but sometimes it's not delay. It's that you keep your consciousness, you've got it, and the other moving parts of the machine have to all get into place. So that's not delay. It is done, and heaven and earth are being moved to position in harmony, in perfect right order, and in divine right action. Harmony and perfect right order and divine right action always has to be present. And that's why we can't say, I don't like that mountain right there. Move it over there. Right? You all heard that one in the Bible. It's true. You could have the consciousness so highly developed that that mountain will move, and it does. However, what about the rest of humanity and the world with this mountain dematerializing and rematerializing? It would create havoc in the experiences of those others who happen to live on the mountain. Right? Can you imagine? Whoa! Honey, look out the window. Everything's changed. So that divine principle, right? That eternal now, infinite here, right? That something is also called, right? The highest and the greatest good of all. When you want the highest and the greatest good of all, you can have an understanding that you've got the consciousness and that you love everyone else and want their greatest good, that you can let them get their act together to meet you. And it doesn't mean there's something wrong with your consciousness. And it doesn't mean that you have to do more treatment. It could just simply be the divine schedule is shifting everything harmoniously into place. And so that's why I like saying that affirmation. I am always in the right place, at the right time, with the right people, doing and saying the right things for the highest and the greatest good of all. And if you need it, you can add, which includes my good. Because there was a time when I would say the highest and the greatest good of all, and I needed to say, which includes my personal good. Because I didn't have the consciousness of that. But now I do. The highest and the greatest good of all is it's absolutely necessary that my personal good be included in that. But when I was building that consciousness, I had to say, it includes my personal good. And I kept saying it until I had created in me the belief that the highest and the greatest good of all includes my good too, right? So our beliefs, our consciousnesses are whatever they are. It is our current understanding and belief about the way life works, about the way the qualities of the divine express in this human world. That's it. You want to know what you believe? Take a look at your world. If it's not pretty, that's okay. I've been there. And there's some areas of my consciousness that are still not so pretty, but that's okay. Because we have infinite possibility to work with. And wherever we are, no matter what is in your condition, no matter where on the globe you are, right? You know there's a way to go anywhere else on the globe. It might not be easy. You might need to be creative. It might be a little scary, but you can go anywhere on this globe. And that's also true for you in consciousness. No matter who you are, what your situation is, there is a way for you to build a consciousness of anything you might want to experience. And it will be created in harmony, perfect right or divine right action, and including the highest and the greatest good of all. When you really get this, you can, it's possible to have that calm awareness and peace that I am here now because of what I've been thinking and what I've been believing, but infinite possibilities are possible for me, and I am becoming the consciousness of this, that, or the other thing. And the way I become is by treating, I am now a fabulous actor in films and stage and theater and da-da-da-da-da-da. Dr. Robert Bitzer, he gave a little speech. In his talk, he mentioned someone who asked Dr. Bitzer to treat for him, to be a fabulous actor and to be hired in this wonderful play, blah, 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 blah. And the actor came to him shortly after that and said, I got hired. I'm in this great play. But he didn't have the skill for memorizing his lines. And Dr. Bitzer said, well, all right, if that showed up, now you gotta change your consciousness and learn that skill, or else you're going to get fired. So let divine guidance guide you. Likewise, that wonderful young man that I met years ago who had that ability, and demonstrated that producer, filmmaker, whatever, he could have chosen, all right, let me get to work. And my girlfriend's going to help me. All right, she'll help me and then I'll dump her. What do I care? But he could have done that, but he didn't even make not even a twitch in the direction of accepting that which he demonstrated and building all that goes with it. right? It's our choices. So we don't need patience. Patience is needed when we believe that the law is not creating our lives according to our consciousnesses, right? It's actually, when we say we need patience, it actually means we don't believe we have the consciousness, and it is done unto us as we believe, right? So we say, I have the consciousness, and I am being guided. If there's anything I need to know, I'm guided to do it. If there's anything I need to do, I am impelled, propelled, and compelled to do it. Everybody's got it memorized, right? Right? And then, as Judge Thomas Troward said, right? We are irrevocably led step by step into the full embodiment of that good that we want. Embodiment, meaning we have such a consciousness that it is our body, physical body, as well as the body of our affairs. Right? So does that sound good?
Yes.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, so that's the power of now versus the divine schedule. We treat in the now, and then, yes, we can go further with this idea of the divine schedule. I cooperate with the divine schedule. It's in the law, and I cooperate with the divine schedule. The other blessing about realizing this is if you have to make a decision in the future, like you know, I'm going to be moving, but right. The divine schedule is preparing you step by step to be ready to make the decision at the moment the decision has to be made. And if you are at that moment when the decision has to be made and you think you need more information, the spiritual truth is you don't. Pick one. And you may feel like, oh, well, no. This is the moment you make the decision. At your level of understanding, at your level of belief, you will make the right decision. I cannot tell you the number of decisions, life-changing decisions I have made with the stupidest reasons upon reflection. But that's all I had. I don't know how many cars I have bought. After all this thinking and all of this research and months of it, whatever, then all of a sudden it's ready and I like that one. That color. My computer. I went there. He's like, but there was one that caught my eye. And I said, tell me about this one. He's like, well, blah, 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 blah. And he's thinking about everything else. And I'm like, all right, I'll give you $1,000 all in. I want that one. Is that okay? He's like, okay. I wanted to pay $1,000. I was guided to that computer. After all the research, blah, 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 blah. So when you trust the divine schedule, you can also trust your moment-to-moment unfolding and learning and growing at the level you're at the beliefs that you're at, but you're always going to have more, and when it's time for the decision, you can make it. For the best of and most rational of reasons, and for the stupidest ones that you can't even share with other people because it would be too embarrassing. It's okay. Because that loving presence that is creating us knows us completely. It knows our ignorance and our innocence and our stupidity, as well as our brilliance. And it can help us even when we're the dumbest of the doornails. Even in our wretchedness, we are guided, guarded, and protected. That's the divine schedule at work. So we can know the power of now, right? We got that? And we can say, oh, but that demonstration that I am treating for, and it's going to be so wonderful. Don't give it to me until it's that ripe peach when I can enjoy it the most. It's okay. no rush. But I want to be able to enjoy it completely. Last little story. So I was an opera singer, I was a chorister, and at a certain moment, the conductor called me up 3 days before the performance, and he said, look, I had a cancellation. Can you do this little role? And it would be my first role. And I looked at it, and I thought about my life. I'm like, okay, I could say yes to this. What an opportunity. But my next 3 days will be days of hell and upset trying to learn this. Because I don't know the part. I didn't have a voice coach. I didn't know how to learn the part. I'm like, I don't want to live those 3 days. And I said, if that's my consciousness, it will come to me again. And I will have more than enough time to prepare for it. Several months later, he asked me to do the role again with 6 months lead time. Completely different experience. So there's no rush, ever. That mountain does not have to move right now. And you can thoroughly enjoy your life as you experience the delight of growing, right? Of growing in every way. Okay, so let's contemplate all that and move forward in our thing. I think I have enough battery cooking. I do. And here's Reverend Rich going to sing us some magic song.
Grateful, 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 yes, I'm grateful, 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 yes, I'm grateful, 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 yes, I'm grateful. Hi. Well, I'm glad to be a part of the live streaming. Consciousness of new good. Wow. I love that. Consciousness of new good. Okay? Everybody's got that? All right. Law of giving and receiving. This is our offering time. If you like to off virtual viewers, if you would like to donate to the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton, it's CSLPRINCETON.org. CSLPrinceton.org. And hit that donate button. It's greatly appreciated. And for those of us here in the room, everything in nature moves in circles. What goes out must come back. Unless the seed is sown, it cannot bear fruit. There must be a planting time for every harvest. Those who give all, receive all. Those who refuse to give limit the possibility of the greater good returning to them. And you can take that statement the way you want to. Love, and you will be loved. Extend joy, and you will become more joyful. This is the law of circulation. Give back, give back. So let me pass the plate. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, let's get a spiritual mind treatment done in the now, right? Okay, so this word is being spoken for each one. Right now, God is. Life is. I am that I am. There's no past, present, future to it. There's no delay. There is no need for, there is no such thing as a divine quality of patience. Because I am that I am and the universe is. And 20 billion years ago, the universe is. And here, now, in this present time, human life has emerged. In the mind of God, I am perfect, whole, and complete now. This is the consciousness, the true consciousness of each one. And each one knows this at the very fiber, the full embodiment of it in their being. And in this now, all good consciousness, each one is now able to gracefully express this life step by step, according to the divine schedule, according to perfect right order and divine right action, according to harmony, and everything moving in sequence and synchronicity for the highest and the greatest good of all. Each one is the consciousness of always being in this relative world, in the right place, at the right time, with the right people, saying and doing the right thing for the highest and the greatest good of all, which absolutely includes each one's own personal good. This is the way it is. And each one now has a greater understanding and acceptance of the activity of the divine now in its creation of time, and is able to be in right relationship with time. From the consciousness of knowing the now, each one is able to walk through the experience of time with crystal clarity, with peace, with deep understanding, and with absolute joy. Grateful for all that is now, all that is present, and happily anticipating all the greater good to be. I am grateful that this word is the truth, and I am grateful that this word shall manifest in each one's world now, beginning now. Everything is in order. Everything is in sequence. All the gears are perfectly meshed for the perfect movement of each one, moving from good to greater good in ways and means of good. I let this word go to the law, grateful it's done. And together we agree by saying together, and so it is. That's the way it is. Okay. So thank you for tuning in. Goodbye. See ya later.